On today's episode, we are going to take a closer look at Micron Technology, a company that provides memory to a lot of emerging technologies. Unfortunately, after this company reported earnings a few weeks ago, stock price hasn't been the same and the overall sentiment in the semiconductors have dropped. But on today's episode, I want to take a closer look at 3 reasons to be bullish on this company after earnings. So let's get started. If we take a closer look at price action, Micron Technology Stock is down roughly 40% from its 52-week high
to get the top 10 stocks to buy right now.
Currently sitting at $58.41 with its current 52-week low of $51.40. So like I mentioned, this company recently reported their earnings on June 30th after the market closed, and I actually did do a video, I'll post it right here, where I talk a little bit more about some of the bearish sides of their earnings. Like I mentioned today, we're going to take a closer look at some of the bullish thesis behind this company. Just to backtrack, one of the main issues happening with Micron is this company has a nice amount of inventory. Unfortunately, demand is slowing down, and with high inventory, low demand, that means a reduced in price in memory, which means less revenue, which also means less margin. So that's the biggest bearish point right now. But let's take a closer look at the first bullish points. And even though we are seeing the short-term kind of decline in demand, management and the overall team believes that there is still a huge push for memory in the future. For example, the CEO did mention during their earnings that the memory and storage total addressable market is expected to grow to $330 billion by 2030 and is becoming an increasing portion of the semiconductor market. And one of the reasons that they're so bullish in the long term of things is the overall growth of artificial intelligence, ongoing cloud adoption, electric vehicles, and other forms of connectivity thanks to 5G are all strong secular demand drivers. And I do believe we are still in early stages of things like AI, autonomous driving, EV vehicles, data centers. So within the early stages, even though if we might see a blip or two in a few quarters, the long-term trend should be very, very positive for these end markets. The second bullish reason is this company is actually being smart with their inventory and the kind of market that they're in right now. During the earnings call, they talk a little bit about supply. Given the change in market conditions, they are taking immediate actions to reduce their supply growth trajectory. So the first thing they're doing is they're going to slow down their creation and their manufacturing of memories. And slowing down this growth will help the following. It will protect their profitability. It will maintain pricing discipline, it would manage capacity utilization, and they will use their inventory as buffer to navigate through the period of demand weakness. So what they're saying is, hey, we're going to slow down our production of memory at the moment because the demand is low. So with lower supply, lower demand, the overall pricing might still decrease, but it might not be as big as if we continue to make more and more memory. Another thing is, with their huge kind of inventory, they are going to use that inventory to supply part of the market demand next year. So again, they're being smart with their current inventory. They're going to slow down purchasing, and overall this is going to decrease the overall capex spending and kind of maintain some form of strong profitability, and overall see that margins don't take such a huge hit. So I do believe this is super strong for management because even though they're dealt a bad hand for the next few quarters, they're doing the best they can with that hand, and I think that's super impressive. The third reason to be bullish on Micron is I do believe they do have a very strong balance sheet and they are using that cash very effectively. For example, they mentioned that during the most recent quarter, they repurchased shares, and since the share repurchase program started in 2019, they have deployed $5.7 billion toward repurchasing 108 million shares at an average price of $53 per share. Remember, current Micron stock price is around 58, so I do want to say they are going to be spending more money in these recent downturns to increase that purchase buyback. They do mention that share repurchase will be both programmatic and opportunistic, and they expect to purchase more as the stock trades at bigger discount to intrinsic value. Not only that, they also are increasing their dividend by about 15%. And if we take a closer look at the cash, they have about $12 billion in cash and investments and roughly $14.5 billion of total liquidity, plus only $7 billion in debt. So overall, this company has a very strong balance sheet. If we take a closer look at Micron's stock price for the past 10 years and buybacks, we can see this is a company that takes opportunity when stock prices are down. For example, we can see in 2016, they bought a nice amount of shares. Here in 2018, 2019, they repurchased a lot of shares at the bottom. And we can see in the most few recent quarters here in 2022, they have increased their price purchase dramatically, and I do believe that's going to continue, and I do believe that tells me a little bit more that this company is still bullish on their long term and believe purchasing their stocks at these price points is a great move. So let me know, are you bearish or bullish on Micron? And let me know in the comments below. Take care, have a good day, and see you next time.